Okay, we are back and we are ready to start our 13th annual Women in Leadership panel, Standing Your Ground for Your Team and Yourself. If I can get Tonya Powers and the 2023 Girly Award winner, always, just like Oscar winner, Kelly, they will always be author, speaker, industry leader, and Girls Who Print Award, Girly Award winner 2023. And Madhura Mahajan, are you there? Yes, there you are. Okay, everybody. So hi, Tonya Powers.
Hi. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon. Oh, you got nice mood lighting there in California today.
You can thank my beautiful Marriott property hotel for the lighting.
Excellent, very cool. And Madhura is coming to us from Pune, India. Yeah, Pune. Is that how you say it?
That's right. That's right. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Is it morning or evening there?
Oh, it's bedtime.
Bedtime. Okay.
The last time I spoke to Madhura, we were recording a podcast and she had a bit of an echo in her room. So she recorded the entire podcast under a towel. I just want to say that is called taking one for the team, everybody. And it sounded amazing. Okay, let me introduce our illustrious panelists. We have Tonya. I actually don't think I have your correct title. I think it has changed. On LinkedIn, I believe it says Marketing Director, Canon Solutions America, but I think it has grown. Yeah.
No, it's still Marketing Director.
Okay, I saw a longer one. Something in market, something. I don't know.
Oh, go to market.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of directors in marketing within Canon. It's a large organization. So it's a little bit of an add-on descriptor to help people understand where I focus within our larger marketing organizations. So go to market, all the outbound marketing, just building the brand and the awareness and preference for our particular business.
Okay, we're going to expand on that a little more, but I didn't want to cut. I didn't want you to not have your full title. You certainly
I appreciate that.
Kelly Mallozzi is the principal at Success in Print and the 2023 Girly Award winner. I'm not going to let you not do that. And we're going to get into what all of this means in a moment. And then Madhura Mahajan, I believe I'm saying that correctly, the head of department printing and dean at IQAC at PVG's College of Engineering and Technology in Pune, India. I mentioned I did a podcast with her. She runs, all the girls who print coming from India are probably coming through her program. So Tonya, very quickly, so we can get into the questions, can you just let everybody know a little bit about what you do at Canon?
So again, my very long title, Director of Marketing at Canon Solutions America for their Production Print Solutions Division based out of Boca, where we are very proud to host Girls Who Print Day with Deborah. We represent all the outbound marketing activities, as I mentioned, building that brand awareness and preference for our production inkjet end-to-end solutions. We partner with a lot of great folks in the industry to help create those solutions that help support our customers, the printers across the US. And so just have a great team behind me to help, get that word out and be present in the industry. So yeah, that's me in a very short nutshell.
Thank you so much. Kelly Mallozzi, Girls Who Print 2023 Girly.
Yes, 30 years in the printing industry, having done a lot of different jobs. I actually worked for Canon Solutions for a time. And I have been working as a consultant in sales and marketing, working on coaching people, doing a ton of mentoring right now. Having a lot of fun doing some great writing projects, and I am just incredibly honored to be here. So thank you again, Deborah.
Thank you so much. And Madhura, I'm killing your name today. Madhura, yes?
No, you are absolutely saying it right.
Okay.
And it's definitely improved from the first time.
Thank you.
I'm from India and I'm into the education system and academics. And I did work after I did my graduation, undergraduation and graduation in printing. Following my doctoral right now, or pursuing doctoral right now. And it's almost 25 plus years that I'm into this academics, and it's fun teaching students, being around with students, and at the same time collaborating with industry for the needs, that every year, every batch, what they need as the industry demands. So that's fun, and that's me.
And just very quickly, I know that we had a brief conversation. You are looking for some of the manufacturers out there, especially with digital printing equipment, to help support the school, correct? So now's your chance. Make your case to everybody out in the printiverse.
Sure, yeah. So digital printing is, as you know, is progressing in every part of the world, and especially customization is becoming so much of getting so much of importance and is becoming important to everybody, and we really feel that this technology should get penetrated into the education system, the print education system, and we would be really happy if we have a setup where we can train. So we have close to around 240 students in our branch, in our printing engineering branch. So it would be great. And then almost all of these, every batch, every year, around 60 students go out into the industry. And they get jobs all over India, even outside India, in the Middle East or in Europe or USA. And it would be great to have a setup, a digital setup where they can get trained, hands-on trained.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So this is called the Women in Leadership panel, and everybody on all of our panelists are leaders in their own rights in the lanes that they occupy. And our theme is standing your ground. So around the topic of leadership, we're going to be talking about standing your ground for your team and for yourself. So Tonya, I'm going to start with you. What do you believe are the most essential qualities of an effective leader, regardless of their gender?
That's a good question. I think for many people, including myself, there's a lot of different things that make up a mix of a leader, and it can vary from one leader to the next. Some are stronger in some areas than others. For me, number one, integrity. Someone who's going to, have beliefs and stands behind them. They're going to deliver. You can trust in them. They have empathy. They feel and they care. So, I want someone, I expect a leader to care about what they're doing and why. Gratitude, I've learned that one a lot from our leader, Francis McMahon, the production print group. He speaks a lot about gratitude. And that one has really, over the years, become to mean so much more to me. It's just, we have a lot to be thankful for. And it's important to recognize that in the team and the people around you. Courage, I think Kim brought this one up, and my eyes lit up when I heard her say that. Courage is really important, and I'll bring Francis back in again. He to me represents courage as well, because he's willing to recognize there's a need for change in areas, and he's going to stand up and he's going to push. Make if it's uncomfortable, so be it. He's going to draw attention to it. He's going to try to bring people together and create communities and figure out how can we work together to make change that we need to make. So really love that one in a leader, and it means a lot to me personally. I think self-awareness is very important too. I mean, we're all works in progress, right? We need to know where our strengths are, where maybe we can work on a little bit, and being aware of where maybe our weaknesses are, building teams around us with the people that kind of build us up. And so as a team, we have, we bring a lot more to the table. So having that self-awareness to know you can't do everything. And bringing those right people together, and patience. Ooh, patience. You always have expectations on, we're going to get this done. And you have these timelines, and it never happens the way you want it to. You have all these grand expectations. Everybody's so passionate, want to get all done. But you got to accept that sometimes things happen, and, we've got to make some exceptions and maybe push things out. I know, Deborah, you mentioned that earlier, talking about you have these ideas. So sometimes it doesn't happen the way you want it to, and you just got to exert a little patience, which is not always easy. And I think a good leader should also, we're talking a lot about this, is providing that mentorship, and just being there for your team and others, maybe not on your team, but recognizing others need that mentorship and standing behind them and helping them grow and develop. So I talked a lot, but those are some of the things that jumped to mind for me personally.
That was amazing. And I just want to echo what you said about Francis. For the last 3 years at the Think Head conference, Francis has given, I can't call it a keynote. I can't call it a speech. I can call it like just from his heart. It just comes out. And it is some of the most authentic words that I've heard from a president of a company. And he continues to talk about diversity and inclusion in a meaningful way.
Yes.
That is not just a marketing term, like we're into diversity and inclusion. And I think that to your point, he surrounds himself with people who are like that. And you're right. That is an essential quality of an effective leader. And you echo that as well. So thank you so much. Kelly, essential qualities of an effective leader.
Boy, I mean, that answer was an Academy Award winning answer, Tonya. Absolutely fantastic. And I think the only thing that I could add to that is that, to me, leaders need to put the development of their people almost before their own agendas, right? And that is not a natural state for people. I think there are a lot of people who are called managers and have VPs in front of their name, but they're not necessarily kind of steeped in the idea that it's not just about the productivity of the people that report to them, but their trajectory. And like Deborah talked about earlier with the lattice, moving up, moving over, sometimes having to move down. But people, leaders really are truly authentically invested in the skills development of their people, and I think would really be gratified by seeing people that work for them excel. And again, I think it's not necessarily a natural thing, but mentorship is incredibly important, and being a really good listener and hearing what someone thinks and acknowledging how they feel so that they can help solve problems and kind of point somebody in the right direction, but also be open to new ideas and be open to the idea that there are a lot of ways to accomplish things today that may go outside of a person's comfort zone. I'm finding this a lot, Deborah, with a lot of the young people that I've been mentoring and that I've been talking to lately, is completely different viewpoints, completely a different take on the horizon and a different path to get there. But we have to be open. We have to be open to looking at things differently and seeing things differently in order to, stay relevant and stay growing in this industry. So it's a great question.
And it's a perfect segue to Madhura, because you not only do you have to exhibit leadership, but you're growing leaders who, to Kelly's point, have a different perspective of the world right now. Please.
Yeah. So for me, I have always thought that following a vision of the organization is very important. That is, if you are working in an organization. If you are on your own, then of course you have your own set of visions and goals, and then you have to make sure that if you are aligned to the vision of your organization, the team has to get aligned equally to your as well as the organization's vision, because then if that is the responsibility of the leader to make sure that they all are aligned equally. And in this journey of achieving the goals towards the vision, then of course, as Tonya mentioned, then you have to there has to be confidence. There has to be something which the confidence has to. I mean, the leader's confidence has to lead the people around you, and it's not that you have to actually lead it in any specific way. It's just the way you set it. And then of course, I believe in delegation. So you cannot do everything on your own, and you have to empower people with roles, responsibilities, so that because I just read a LinkedIn post last week, and it said that you are not going to be a leader for a lifetime. You have to create space for new leaders as well. And if you don't have that vision as a leader, then there's no point in leading the team. So that's what I feel. And this is something which I have learned, as you said, while teaching the students. And students have their own leadership skills when they are students. So they want to do something independently. They want to drive something independently. But then again, you have to bring them back at least when they are working in or studying in the organization, they should know that they have to follow certain things about the organization or for the organization. So that's what I feel. That's what I have tried to practice leadership since I have become the HOD head.
Thank you so much. Kelly, what resources or support systems have you found helpful in building your confidence in your career?
Well, I mean, it would go without saying that Girls Who Print has been incredibly important. And back in the days when we would have be at the shows and just be able to be around other people that are having similar experiences. But in terms of confidence, it honestly was any show, any in-person gathering where I could, when I was asked to speak. That goes for, affiliates, certainly the print shows. Getting up on stage and having to speak in front of large groups of people is one of the most humbling / terrifying / incredibly empowering experiences. And for those of you out there who think you can't speak in front of people or you don't have anything to say, this is a time to, I think it kind of ties into the stand your ground. Get up there and speak. And that is not without, again, being terrified and sometimes maybe not doing a great job. My 2018 print speech, I was not my best work, and yet I got back up there the next year and had a much better experience. So just being out in the world, any place people are gathering, especially talking about this industry, is a place I'm going to gather strength, and I'm going to gather courage, and I'm going to gather confidence for sure.
I love it. It's funny because I do or have done a lot of speaking, and I know that I'm shaking. I know that my voice is quivering. I know that I am more than likely you will see me behind a podium. That's because I'm white knuckling it. I am not comfortable at all up there, but I started, once you start seeing that the people in the audience are listening and that they're maybe in agreement with what you're saying, and it gives you strength and confidence to stand your ground on your positions and not change them because someone's looking at a phone or something like that. Tonya Powers, same question. What resources or support system have you found helpful in building your confidence in your career?
I'm gonna have to say with Kelly, it's really about the people you surround yourself with. I've been very fortunate. I've been in the industry 17 years now. We don't want to talk too much about it. It's been a while. But I've met a lot of amazing people, men and women, and just very hardworking, smart, very passionate people. And they have been very supportive of me. Some of them have really helped take me under their wing and just guide me from my HP large format days all the way to currently, whether they're within the company I'm at or, customers that I've worked with have been so encouraging too. Like, a lot of the Think members, we've got some really strong women that are Think members and on the board and such. And they've just been so encouraging. So I've been able to observe and engage with them and learn a lot from them. And then, I also, similar to what Kelly was saying about the ongoing education, we are all works in progress. We are never done. So you should always be embracing to continue to learn. So that continued education is huge, honing those skills that where maybe you're not so comfortable in. For me, number one, public speaking, just do not enjoy it. And it was something my boss, Francis, again, put me out there. You should ask him about my first presentation years ago. It was pretty sure it was not good. And now I'm pushed out there still. I'm kind of pushed a little bit. It's not my comfort zone again, but I know it's important and I do have something to say. And so, I prepare myself. I do that work and put the effort in there and get it done. Yeah.
And that's for sure. I can say Tonya Powers is always prepared. Tonya Powers is prepared.
OCD about it.
I've also had the honor of watching you get pushed up on those stages and watching your name move from the bottom of the list to the top of the list to owning the conference and introducing the conference. And, I come up to you every time and I'm like, that's right, Tonya, you get it, girl. You go up there and do it. So
thank you. You're one of those people encouraging me and championing me on. So thank you.
Well, that is very kind of you to say, but I just want to say it has been a privilege watching someone like you really rise to the top. Madhura, what resources and support systems have you found helpful in building confidence in your career? And because you are an educator, I always want to go back to the students, and so you can help give us some insight into, are they confident? I think we might have maybe we don't have the right idea of Gen Z, or maybe we do. I don't know. They seem a little different. Let's put it that way.
See, I think when we were Gen Z once upon a time, probably, our seniors would be thinking the same. Now that we are facing the Gen Z, we are going through that same patch. Yeah, I think they have their own ideologies, they have their own ideas, they want to work independently, they are not ready to listen. And so, of course, I have faced all these things batch by batch, year by year, every year for the last 25 years, but it is fun grooming them, mentoring them. From where do I get the confidence, or what is my support system is, yeah, of course, the students themselves is my support system. You keep on getting these feedbacks, these small cues from them that, something is right, something is not right, what should be done, how things should be changed, what should be modified. So I think we should be open to these ideas, and they help you grow. And that is what has really helped me. And of course, when you now I am the head of department, there are people over me, and I have also worked under my bosses. So when I was not an HOD, so I think I have learned a lot from them. And it was they who actually empowered me to do all the things and take experience. So I believe in taking experience in all the little things that we come across, and not just shrug it off, saying that this is not for me or this is not my job. And that kind of that's what I think gives that confidence. And when you take the position to lead, you have gone through it, so it's easier for you to guide the next generation.
I'm actually going to stay with you, Madhura. How have you handled situations where you face resistance or pushback when you are asserting or introducing your position or new ideas? Did we lose her? Oh, there we are. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we try to have stand your own ground, or when you want to push your own idea, it may or may not get accepted. We know that. But of course, when we have prepared well, when you have studied well, when you have documented it well, you are presenting it well, then probably there is a chance that people will listen to you. And of course, if it is in the interest of the people, they will definitely listen to you. It is also important that you have to pitch it at the right timing. So if you are not going to find the right time, and if you find somebody who is impatient and not ready to listen and has something else on his agenda, his or her agenda, then yeah, you might not, your ideas may not get accepted first. So, but at the same time, you have to be prepared. If it is you are working in collaboration, you need to also accept that, yeah, this idea may not work. So I think that open-mindedness is also very important, rather than just pushing your own ideas all the time.
Thank you so much. Kelly, I'm interested in how you handle situations in life where you're facing resistance and pushback, but also how you coach your clients on how to deal with that.
I mean, it really does boil down to persistence and confidence. Confident is a word I've been using a lot lately because I think it is kind of where we get our backbone and where we can really plant our feet and know that the idea has merit, or the concept has merit. So when we're confident, it even manifests in our voice, right? We can speak in a way that sounds very confident instead of questioning, right? And some of that does, I mean, I would like to say that it isn't age and maturity, but for me personally, a lot of it has been I've gotten more confident as I've gotten older. And I also just have less time for people that don't want to come along on the journey. But it, again, I think it really does. I loved what Madhura said about it being the right timing, but also persistence. I remember early on in my career, if I went to my boss and said, I really think we need this piece of equipment, I would go every day. We need this. And the evidence, just like Madhura was saying about preparation, here's another job we lost because we didn't have this piece of equipment. I would want to make a connection for that person that I was trying to persuade that there was evidence and support, supporting information behind it. So again, persistence, confidence, and, in some cases, maybe building a team around, getting other people on your team who would also agree with you so that you could kind of present a united front. Those are just a few of the things that not only am I using in my own practice, but that is something that I'm coaching people on, is that you got to do your homework. Like you were saying about Tonya. Tonya is always prepared. She does her homework. Those are things that I talk to my clients about. Be prepared and be confident.
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's an international symbol for yes and no. This is the international symbol for Tonya's on a conference call.
Hold, please.
Which everybody knows.
Hold, please.
Tonya, how have you handled situations where you face resistance or pushback when you are asserting your position or your ideas?
So yeah, I personally hate being in difficult situations. It's like my nature is to, try to work things out. Everybody, let's kumbaya it together. But it happens on a regular basis. And a lot of people, come at it a different way. But what both Kelly and Madhura have said, really, that's very similar to me. You've got to, put in that effort. You've got to do that homework. That's definitely for me. I do my homework. I prepare. I need to know all the information, the data to, build my story, back everything up. So I'm ready and prepared to address whatever may come at me, knowing it's probably going to come at me. To me, that saying knowledge is power is a big deal. And that's what gives me the confidence. If I know I've done my homework and I have the information and I'm prepared, it helps me to have that confidence going in. If I have the least little bit of doubt about my effort, it's going to show. So that's number one. I think it also helps when you go into these types of things to be empathetic, again, listening to people, asking some key questions, trying to understand where the resistance is coming from. You got to sit back and listen and really try to, I guess there's a certain level of emotional intelligence needs to come in there too, and really understand what's driving them from their side. And I think that that's helped me as well to, because maybe sometimes this is going to be exactly the way I wanted it, but not the way they saw it either. Maybe we find some compromise in there, because we're all on the same team ultimately, we hope, and we're trying to come to some common good. And if you're not on trying to come to a common good, maybe you need to question where you're at. Because you should be on the same team.
I just want to echo what you said, because I was one of those people that was like, wow, why don't you see what I'm seeing? And I don't understand. And my hands are going and my voice is up and I'm like this. And people are looking at me like, no, whatever this is going on here, no, get it away from me. Yeah. And I had to not compromise my ideas, not compromise the goal that I had or the mission I wanted to be on, but I had to reframe it so that I could get what I want if I gave the person on the other end what they wanted. And in the beginning, it was a PowerPoint slide presentation. This was the most annoying thing I had ever been through my entire life, but I realized that I couldn't talk to any marketing manager at any freaking manufacturer unless I gave them a PowerPoint presentation on what I wanted. Now, luckily that has gone away, but going to people one-offs, and Tonya, you were actually really helped me to formulate this because I don't think of myself as like a corporate-y type person, and I'm not. But if I want to navigate a corporation, I have to give the corporation the tools that they need. Mm-hmm. And you taught me this is when we budget. This is when you have to get me everything you want from me for next year so we can have a discussion. So when we're ready to pull the trigger, you're accounted for. And that enabled me to I don't want to say get what I want, because it is that, but it's get what we want, or mm-hmm. be able to do the things I want to do with you. I have to give you the tools to enable the people that are saying to you, where's no, that's too much. We don't want to hear about the good of the world. Like, we want to see something in a proposal that explains to us the value of this and the long-term
impact.
Exactly. So I want to thank you for helping me to really overcome those difficult, challenging conversations, because I get to the point where, I think Kelly said it before. It's just like, okay, you don't get it. I don't want to sit here, talk to you anymore about trying to convince you about things that I'm doing. Either do it or don't. And it doesn't always work out that way. So
it's your passion is coming across, but and you take your work very personally. It's your life. I define much of my definition of myself, I do attach or associate with my career, my work that I do. It's very personal, but I always have to remind myself, don't react. This is still business. It's like, let's step back and not bring all the personal emotion into things. Right.
And at the end of the day, everybody's in a business, and crazy ideas or ideas that are good for the community or for the industry are fantastic, but there has to be a plan. And that was something that you really helped me overcome, because I was getting a lot of pushback on my hey, I want to talk to you about this thing called Project Peacock. And people like, send me a PowerPoint, send me an email, send me send me something. And I'm like, no, I just want to talk to you about it. And they're like, I'm going to have to pass this to somebody. I can't pass you to somebody else. So very, very important lesson that I learned, and I've been able to overcome it. So Madhura, challenging conversations. Is that the question we're on? We were just talking about pushback? Yes, Kelly, pushback?
Yeah, we're moving. I think you started with her on that one. So I think we're,
okay.
if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
I think
lost.
we're
in-
kind of building on that question.
Yes.
I remember
Okay.
correctly, it was a very similar-esque, but
Okay.
Mhm.
building.
Okay, my apologies. So we were talking about challenging conversations, and that's
Mhm.
why I chimed in. Okay,
Yeah.
couple of things. First of all, after the next question, I'm going to ask Sandy Hubbard from Sandyland to ask a question to the panel, and then I think we will have a little extra time. So if people have questions, you could start putting them in the chat now, and then I'll pull them up as we're going along. But for right now, Tonya, we'll start with you. What have been some of your most significant successes in standing your ground for your team? And what lessons did you learn from those experiences?
All right. So, okay. This question had me, I really was thinking hard around this one. And actually with the answer I finally felt was the right one response for this group to help them understand was, and it's a counterintuitive, but I think a significant success for me was I had to let go of or I said goodbye to a best employee. She was a rock star. She was going places. She had it all. I went to battle for her. This was some years back now. And at that point in time, with the management corporate layers, I wasn't able to navigate the system to meet what I thought was the right career development path for her and to get her where she needed to be in those next steps. So, eventually I just went back to her and I said, right at this point, I don't think it's a fit for you. Where you're going, I see so much more for you, and you may want to look outside. And she did. And she found an amazing opportunity. She's doing awesome. We stay in touch. We have dinners regularly. She's amazing. You know her, Deborah.
I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and I'm just so happy and proud of her that she took that step. And so for me, that was a success for me because she's growing and just doing wonderful things. Who knows, maybe our paths will cross down the line somewhere where we have a fit for her on my team again. I don't know. But you never close all those doors, right? Don't burn the bridges. And I've been able to lessons learned from that to help make sure I do an even better job for the other rock stars I have on my team and really figure out how to navigate those systems that we all have in our organizations, corporations. And I've been able to get more wins from lessons learned on that. But again, if it's not going to meet the needs, I will have the same advice for them. Sometimes you outgrow an organization and you need to look somewhere else.
Madhura, what have been some of your most significant successes in standing your ground for your students? And what lessons did you learn from those experiences?
I think since the time I have taken charge as the head of department, I think I have really got a wonderful team of faculty who is working with me. So my colleagues, my team is something which I really look forward to every day, interacting with them, meeting them, sharing ideas, getting ideas from them, and then building things for the students. I think that is what that is one thing which I have really that I feel is has been really successful for me. That the team which I'm working with, and that's one thing. And secondly, we have been working on many collaborative projects with industry. So it could be the local industry that is near to our city, in the industry which are around the institute, and or there could be industry outside of our city. And what's the best part is, like, they will visit the website, they will see what we do, and then they will reach out to us with their problems. And so I think that's really very encouraging. And when we are able to help these industries with for their problems, and try to give whatever little solution that they are looking for, with the help of the students. And the best part is students are a part of the solution. So that's really encouraging for everyone. And that's how the entire team works. So the other faculty also will work in the same way. So that's what is something I have really liked.
Kelly, what have been some of your most significant successes in standing your ground for yourself, for your clients, and What lessons have you learned from those experiences?
The one thing that's kind of just occurring to me in the moment is we get a lot of advice in our life, right? A lot of times it's advice that we've asked for, and sometimes it's advice that gets given to us that we maybe didn't ask for. But one piece of advice that I received and chose to ignore, so there's something to be said here for being able to kind of connect with your gut, was going into management. Someone who I trusted and really looked up to at the time told me I wasn't ready and that I was too young and that I hadn't been bloodied up enough yet to go into management. And I chose to ignore that advice. And I'm quite glad that I did, because being a manager was actually a more gratifying and way more kind of textured and complex job than being a salesperson. And so I'm really glad that I decided to ignore that advice. And I mean, in terms of my clients, everything is so different all the time that, again, I think I'll repeat it. Becoming connected to my gut is work that I do. And what I mean by that is it's trusting yourself. It's confidence. It's all of those things, because I mean, the world, in many cases, I said this early on in the comments, I think, sometimes I feel like there are entities in this world that would rather see us keep ourselves small. And so being loud and standing up and being confident is threatening to some, but empowering to others. And so I would just encourage everybody out there we talked about this in in last year's Girls Who Print Day. Get big, get loud, be confident, and take up the space. Because, there's maybe times in your life where no one's going to do that for you. So you just kind of have to grab it and go,
Girls Who Print, Love and Thunder. You can watch the replays. I set the intention and explain where that comes from, but you're absolutely right. Occupying the space, not making yourself small, saying I'm here and deal with it in many ways. Okay, Sandy Hubbard, this is your Sandyland question time. If I know you're there, if you want to pop in.
Okay. Come on. Where am I?
Okay,
it won't let me.
We can hear, we can
hear you.
Okay, good enough. Okay, my question is, as we navigate our career journey, what is the best way to advocate for ourselves and let people know we want to be promoted or moved up?
Okay, let's start with Tonya.
Good question. Advocate for ourselves. Well, for me personally, I've always just been a big believer of, I'm going to put my 100%, 110% in effort in. I'm going to make sure, that I'm visible. I'm doing above and beyond, because to me, that's how you want to get to that next level. It's not just doing my job. I think Madhura said something about like, oh, well, that's not my job. Well, if you want to get to that next level, you've got to demonstrate the willingness and desire to do above and beyond, because to get to that next level, that's what it takes to show that willingness and that effort. So making sure that it is visible, though, you've got to, make sure they're aware it's happening, because if you're working behind the scenes, it can get lost. And, some people may try to take credit or things like that, but make sure you're not afraid to give that voice to yourself too, of that effort. I think that's a big thing. And then, and I'll go back to this culture thing. It's a big deal for me personally, and within our particular organization. If it's not being recognized, if who you're with doesn't recognize that or value that about their people, then maybe you're not in the right place as well. Go somewhere where they value their people. They want to recognize their efforts, and they're going to work hard to reward them. So I think that's a little bit of what I would say about that.
Thank you so much. Kelly, I'm going to turn this around on how you help your clients advocate for themselves and move up. This has been a big theme of Girls Who Print, in the mentorship program for many years. I'm sure it manifests every day in your inbox and emails and phone calls.
I mean, it's absolutely, again, it's steeped in confidence, and it's kind of astonishing and a little bit sad to me how often people don't keep track of how awesome they are, right? So it's almost as if we need to kind of document our highlight reel. Keep a, you know, whether the list is actually written down or in your brain of all the great things that you do. And so that is one of the privileges of my job, is I get to tell people how awesome they are all the time. And also the idea of being a squeaky wheel, right? If no one's listening, just keep saying it over and over again until somebody hears it. I mean, I think that is, it's almost like you have to be your own agent, right? Imagine if you were trying to, you know, get somebody a job. Actors have agents that get their jobs for them. So we have to be our own advocates. You know, so again, it's keeping track of the wins, almost as if you were being asked to, you know, to generate a highlight reel, so that when the time comes, you can say, here's the laundry list of the things I've done, the money I've made for this company, the ideas I bring to the table, the people I've attracted. I am an advocate for this business. I am keeping the brand right out there, and being pretty specific too about what you want and why. So that's what I got.
Not to interrupt, but I would say twice a year I sit down and try to document that. We have our KRAs, what we're measured against, and I document at least twice a year, and, you know, midpoint, and then at the year end build on that, and a lot of data backing me up, like here's all the things and why, the impact. That's what helps give that voice, and, you know, you can go in with confidence going, you know, these are the things I've been able to help provide and deliver and enable within our business for our customers. And that's what gives you that voice, and that should be giving you the recognition.
Yeah. And it's come up on Girls Who Print for many years. Unfortunately, it's still the case that men are judged by their potential, but women are judged by their accomplishments. So whether or not it's fair or not, being your own best advocate, having the data and the proof points is really the best way to arm yourself for those conversations. Madhura, challenges, where is Sandy's question?
Oh, Sandy's question's in the chat.
Oh yeah, I see it now. So how do you have you're in the world of academia, so it has a different structure, I imagine, but you had to get there, and along the way, advocate for yourself to move up that ladder, obviously to the head of the department. So can you share your advice for that?
See, when you want to rise up, it's very gradual. It's not easy and it's not fast. That's what I have experienced, and I think you have to wait for it, and the time comes. So if you try to push it, then you know, things become difficult, and how much ever you push it, you know, it's not going to happen because you want it. So I think what I have believed in doing is just keep working gradually. People will watch your work, people will see how you have been doing, and people will need you because the work needs you. When I said that, you know, you have to do all the work and, you know, take the little experiences, that is absolutely time consuming, and you are working almost 24/7. Even in your sleep you are thinking about it, and, you know, so you are never off work. But then that helps, and you know, because that's the passion with which you are working in whichever industry it could be, and in whatever role or job that you are doing, I mean, not and in any profession. And that helps, and I think that persistence and that patience will pay you off, and yeah, a little bit of advocacy is needed. As you know, Tonya said that you have to document it, you have to list these things, you have to show people that yeah, you have done it. But that's just a piece of paper. Ultimately, you are recognized or you are known for the work you do, and people will reach out to you when they need you. So, you know, for the work that they need to get it done. So that's what I feel. I believe in.
Thanks so much. I had another question, but and I know we're going to run out of time in a minute, but I actually want to ask a question from the chat, which is from Jackie Phillips, who happens to be sitting next to me over there. But it's a great question, and it comes up a lot at Girls Who Print. So I really, I'm privileged to be able to ask it for her. What is the biggest piece of advice you have for younger women just coming into this industry? Madhura, let's start with you, since you are dealing, you are on the ground zero of that.
I think whether for any gender, girls, boys, but yeah, girls, uh, you have to adopt the new technology, the changes. So if you are not aware of it, it's going to be difficult. So being aware of it, acquiring those skills, learning the skills, and trying to navigate your career using these new technologies as and when they are getting modified, changed. I think that will help you set a good path. And then reach wherever you want to reach. And I think there are a lot of startup opportunities, so I think girls can go for that kind of ideas rather than working for any organization. So it's better to have on your own, be on your own, and just gather the such conferences are great way. They give you great ideas, and venture out. Of course, it's going to take a lot of courage, but there are so many people, like you have the entire army of women here to support, and or wherever your mentors, whoever are around you, and just start out on your own.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Tonya Powers.
Okay, another good
No
question.
no pressure,
pressure.
with your employees sitting here, one of your
Team,
employees.
Which great. I don't know if she shared this with you. Jackie has pushed to advocate for, we have a lot of young professionals that have in the past year, a lot of new young professionals in our organization there in Boca, and she's advocating for them to bring together a group to kind of support each other within the Boca office, just make those connections, which are huge. So I give a lot of kudos to her for that, pushing and representing for them. For young professionals, I think it's just a big thing. It's important to, I think as Madhura said, there's like, you come into a new organization and you're thinking all these, you're really going to question some of the processes. Why this, why that? Like, why are we doing it this way? So I think it's good to come in with an open mind. Again, as I mentioned before, ask some questions, try to understand, and maybe it needs a change. Oftentimes it is, it's just because the way we've always done it. And then that's definitely an area where you should have the confidence to push and say, hey, I've got some new ideas, that I think we could do, it could be more improved this way. But, sometimes maybe there's reasons why, valid reasons you don't know, but be willing to ask the questions and be patient a little bit, try to understand, get comfortable, really learn, as Madhura said, what's going on and why, and maybe it does make sense, or maybe there's some improvements beyond that. I would say it always also comes down to intangibles, regardless, male, female. It's the attitude and effort is what I have learned over the years. Rich Ramundi, he was an old manager way back in my HP days, who Francis reported to, and it was kind of trickled down to me as well. And you can only control the two things really in your world. That's your attitude and your effort. So, I mean, this, like when I heard it, I kind of always thought it, but the way it was stated, it just kind of really had an impact, and this stuck with me for like 16 years now. And I'm like, you're right. It's like, it's all about what I bring to the table each and every day. I have unique qualities. You wouldn't have been hired if you didn't have unique qualities. And we know we're investing in our young professionals. We're going to try to give them all the right tools and build them up and develop and grow. But what we can't do is help you with that attitude and effort. So
thank you so much. No, amazing advice. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Girls Who Print and for inviting me to broadcast live from your Customer Innovation Center. As I mentioned before, there's new episodes of Project Peacock that we actually filmed here rolling out. There's one posted now. Just thank you for your support and everything. And to wrap it up, we are going to have the 2023 Girly Award winner, Kelly Mallozzi, share your advice for younger women coming into the industry.
I mean, those two answers were spectacular because that's exactly what was rolling through my head, Tonya, is asking a lot of questions. And Madhura, courage, right? The courage of confidence and, you know, that it centers yourself. Building on that, I think it's real important to know what's the horizon, like, right? What does success look like for me? So in a collaborative environment with everybody that you report to and the people that you are working with, is what is it that we're accomplishing here? And how will I know when I get there? Right. So in sales, that always felt real obvious. But it isn't just numbers, right? It's not just what the numbers are that you're putting up there. You know, again, I would think if a boss can't answer that question, if a boss can't tell you what success looks like, I'd be real concerned. But again, I just think it's really important so that you building a strategy around what your day is going to look like and what kind of work you're doing and what is the effort that you're putting into it is going to lead to, you know, what those tangibles are. Tonya, I love that you talked about the intangibles, but the tangible effort of your work, what goes on your to-do list every day? What is it that what is it that I'm trying to do? Because otherwise it can be real confusing. And you could find out that the things that you thought you were supposed to do weren't actually the things that you were supposed to be doing. So again, sometimes I think it can feel real scary to talk to a boss or a boss's boss or a boss's boss's boss about those things. But the more clarification you have and the more concrete information that you have, the more likely it is that you'll be able to develop that highlight reel, and that you'll be able to advocate for yourself, because you'll be able to say, this is what you said my mission was, mission accomplished, right?
I think going back to the beginning of that first question, part of an effective leader is being able to and willing to communicate, share information. People who hold information because they're afraid, like, oh, if I give too much information out, I lose my power, I guess. I don't know. You need to share the information. Your team needs to have that information too, so that they, again, you know, post on their wall, like, what are our strategies? What are our objectives? What are you trying to do this quarter, this half, this year? Like, what's the progress? Are we getting there? So helps them stay focused, like you said. If you're not passing that down, you know, then what are we doing?
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Kelly, once again, congratulations. Sandy, thanks for chiming in, manning the chat. Jackie, thanks for your question. She's been very helpful, Tonya. Just want to say everyone here has been amazing.